What is this weird level of conspicuous consumption we've arrived at in the affluent West, where we can buy things specifically not to use, to not even be looked at, to exist effectively in our imaginations? Sometimes you have no choice. I'll give you an example. This is my sink, ladies and gentlemen. That is my sink at home. That, ladies, is where the magic happens. Okay. Card tricks mainly, but that is my sink. That is what my sink looked like when I was a single, unmarried man. I'm married now, and my sink looks different. Now, my sink looks like that. So that's before, that's after. Again, it's not a tricky spot the difference competition, is it? People are going to spot. It is the sink strainer. Now, I'm okay with the sink strainer. I understand the point of the sink strainer. I'm on board with the sink strainer. In fact, I enjoy providing that kind of thing because it involves shopping in my favourite shops. I genuinely love these shops. I live in Bethnal Green in the East End of London. We have a plethora of what are called pound shops. I'm not talking about the new chain store pound shops, I'm not about Poundland and all those. I'm talking about the old-fashioned things we just used to call pound shops, whether they call themselves that or not. I'm talking about things like this, £1 items on the front of the shop and this kind of thing. Baby shop, £1 shop plus, where they sell absolutely everything. They've got everything in there. You've got baby wear and accessories, for example. You've got household goods, for example. You've got... New Allworth, for example. I love these shops. I genuinely do. This is the shop next door to the baby shop, £1 shop plus. This is, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by the words £1 shop there, because as you can see, it's not. It's not. Which presumably is why they have to have £1 shop plus on the front of it. They sell things that are less than £1, things that are £1, and things that are more than £1 in that shop. If I was them, I would just call it shop. We all, however, colloquially refer to them as the pound shops, and there are many in my part of town, and I love them because they sell everything. As you can see, they've got, for example, toiletries, stationery, that says tools wrapped in the corner there, storage boxes, fashions, electrical, and fancy goods. And fancy goods is my favourite. That is the catch-all term to describe everything else that they sell. Many of those things are definitely not fancy, and you know that they include sink strainers. But the trouble with these shops is they revolve around this shape. This is the shape that allows these shops to exist. It's that little hole at the top. It's that shape that allows you to put more than one piece of cardboard with similar packed items onto a spike in the wall. It's basically the place of the blister pack economy. That's what happens in these shops, the blister pack economy. And when what you do is take small items and blister pack them to cardboard and you put them on hooks on a wall, you don't think, how many of these things would someone like to buy? If someone was in the market for one of these things, how many of these things would they like? Instead, you think, how many of these things do we need to put on a piece of cardboard in order to take the price point to about £1? And the answer to those two questions is different, which is why, when I want to buy a sink strainer, I end up coming back with that. Why would anyone ever want 6 sink strainers? The most sinks I've ever seen in a kitchen is 2. That is at least 3 times as many sink strainers as anyone could want. Basically, a 6-pack of sink strainers doesn't exist to satisfy the demand for people who want 6 sink strainers. It exists to satisfy the demand of shops that charge £1. You end up getting things like this. 4 potato peelers. 4 potato peelers for £1.15. That says £1.15 because the family that peels together feels together. Why would anyone want 4 potato peelers? 16-piece keychain set for £1.49. How many people who are shopping on Bethnal Green Road in East London do you think are also running a small caravan park? I don't think very many. That's not a sensible number of keychains for a normal person to buy, is it? And you get things like 20-piece suction hooks. Who needs 20? Is there a cat burglar buying those thinking I can scale the shard if I use them carefully enough? I reckon I can do that. Of course it's not. £1.69 for 20 suction. Why would anyone want 20 suction hooks? I suppose it's somewhere to keep all your key rings, I suppose. These next two are my favourites. These were bought in adjacent shops. In one shop, you get this. The 12-piece comb set. For £1.29. Remember that number. Remember £1.29. 12 combs for £1.29. You want a comb? Somehow you're forced into buying a round of combs. Don't worry, everyone, the combs are on me. It doesn't happen, does it? Meanwhile, in the shop next door, a 6-piece comb set. 12 combs cost £1.29, 6 combs, £1.30. That's hardly a tricky maths test, is it? I don't think so. Work this out with me. What's your name, by the way, sir? Rich. Nice to meet you, Rich. Work this out with me. What you've got on the one shop, you've got 12 combs. Think about this. 12 combs for £1.29, okay? And they cost 10.75p per comb, okay? In the other shop next door, 6 combs. 6 combs, fewer combs. £1.30, more money. They cost 21.67p per comb. Let's make these numbers real for you, Rich. I'm going to upscale them. Let's round them up. Call that 11p a comb and call that 22p a comb. It's not a trick question, Rich. Which of those is the best deal?
12 combs.
12 combs. You're wrong there, aren't you, Rich? You're wrong. You're saying 12 combs. You're wrong. Do you know why it's not the best deal? Why? Because I only wanted one fucking comb.